A very good afternoon, or rather a very good noon, and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep channel that is dedicated to ensuring that you go on to become successful, that you go on to join your dream colleges. And today we continue our work on TISSNET, the next major exam that is approaching, and quite a few of you are writing it. So whatever we do today in this particular session will of course be useful for TISSNET, but if you are appearing for CMAT, if you're appearing for Maharashtra CET, you will find this particular session useful. My name is Vikrant and I have helped thousands of students get into their dream B schools. I've been teaching for 22 years and I am in your team. I am committed towards making you successful. If you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon so that you meet us every single time, so that it is not an accident of fate that you were scrolling and you came across this video. And of course, if there are any questions, any issues, any concerns, if there is anything that you want to ask, please make sure that you put it down in the chat box down below, and I will continue to read it during the course of this session. So right now I'm looking at you, but when I do this, I am reading what you've sent. So I suddenly see that we have Sonal, we have Innocent with a white heart and an orangish heart. What does white heart stand for? Somebody told me plenty of things about different colors of hearts, and I got to realize something shocking about the purple heart. Do you know that? Hi Varun. Oh Varun, you were trying to reach me. Unfortunately, I had a bit too much to work on, so we could not connect, but we'll definitely connect soon. White is peace. Purple was the shocking one for me. So let's go ahead and start a work on TISSNET. Just a quick recap that it is an exam which is for 100 minutes, and in these 100 minutes you're supposed to write 100 questions spread across 3 sections. There's +1, but then the important thing is there is no negative marking, which means that you are going to attempt all the 100 questions. Okay. Then 3 sections, no sectional time limit, right? QADI and LR 30, general awareness 40. So with these 3 sections, there is no sectional time limit, which means that you can attempt the exam in the way you want to, but there is a sectional cutoff only for the general awareness or the GK section, where you're supposed to get 35% of the total marks. So with that said, let us start our work if there is no other question. So I look at the chat window, I don't see anything here. I see Rishika and Mohit have also joined us. So let's go ahead and start our preparation. So shall we? Okay. Exam date 25th February, is it? I think it is, right? Okay, so let us start. I saw this a little late, Mohit, but I think Rishika has already given you the answer. So we actually have a couple of weeks to go now, in a way, right? Okay, so here is your question number 1. Shall we start? So I'll keep the patterns similar to the kind of pattern or the questions that have been asked in TISSNET. In fact, some of these questions are, when I say some, I'm saying 2, 3, 4 of these questions are actually previous year questions. And more or less, I've tried to remain consistent to the pattern, the difficulty level, the topics. So let us dive into it. And your question number 1 is on your screen. Fill in the blank and your time starts now. This, by the way, is one of the previous year questions. So in case you find it easy or difficult, I mean, don't blame me, right? This is what they've given. Good afternoon, Shivanya. Shivanya, is that how I'm supposed to pronounce it? Shivanya, Shivnaya. Shivnaya. I don't know. Sounds pretty exotic though, huh? Okay, 5 seconds to go. Angel's World has shared his answer. So have the others. And you are absolutely right. The answer here is indeed B. So you realize this is easy, and that is what we've consistently told you, that when it comes to the difficulty level, particularly in English, they want it to be a very inclusive exam. They don't want people from the interiors of the country, who live in those small towns to feel that, oh, this is something that I could not have even attempted. So B it is. I think everybody has got it right. Rahul, are you sure? It is found that John did not hurt himself when he fell off his. It is found. It is found. So, I mean, something like known maybe would have worked. It was found could have worked. It is found. That'll be a little weird, right? Okay. So, let us see. Hi, I think I'm back now. Could you please quickly confirm in the chat if I am audible, visible to you? Because I sense that there was a lag in between. Okay. Okay, so it is all right now. Okay, chalo. So that's at least heartening, huh? For a while, I felt that there is some issue and we are not able to take care of it. This appears fine. Okay, so let us go ahead and start our work then. Let's move back to this. I think there's a momentary lag in the internet or something. All right. Hanji, so I'm sorry that you may not have found adequate amount of time to work on this, but fill in the blank with the most appropriate word. Now, when it comes to prefer, we do not use then after it, and we obviously not use for. At the end of the day, we are indulging in a bit of comparison, right? So that is why I'd say that we can definitely rule out A and D. What about B versus C? Some of us think it is B, some of us think it is C. Now, when I look at any English corpus, when I look at the way people use this word, when people use preferred, okay, not prefer, preferred, then you'd see quite a few native speakers using X is preferred over Y. So when you use preferred, this particular structure, you can use X is preferred to Y or X is preferred over Y. Both of them are used, but the moment the structure changes, the moment you say, I prefer X, then you say, I prefer X to Y. In this structure, the natives do not use over. In the other one, this particular structure that I've put up top, that is a structure where we can at times use over. But even there, over is less common as compared to to. So in this structure, because we are talking about prefer X to Y, we should choose C instead of choosing B. Fair enough? Here comes the next one for you. Question number 3 on your screen, and the time starts now. But then I think majority of you actually ended up picking up C. So that was good. That was nice. It's good to see that. And our time is up. Let us see what you guys opt for. Right. So in this particular question, our answer should be, as most of you have chosen, until. This question is very similar to, I have actually used one of those previous TISSNET questions to draw the inspiration for this particular question. So the answer is indeed B. I think each one of you has managed to get it right. So that's amazing. That's remarkable. Good job there. Huh? Good job. Keep at it. Here comes the next one. Question number 4 on your screen. Another fill in the blank, but this time around, just like the previous one actually, the focus is on grammar, but this time around we are not diving into prepositions. We are going a little beyond that, and your time starts now. Okay, Rahul, that was quick. Shubh. Right. So, A and A and A. Okay. Had it been a democracy, A appears to, A would have won by a landslide, it seems. Okay, we have one C. So I'm just waiting for the answer so that I can tell you what and why. Okay, so now first up, whatever comes here is supposed to act as a subject. Okay, it is the place of a subject. Now, her is not a subject but an object, and therefore C and D can be ruled out. Now, between A and B, what is the difference? Remember that first person, second person, third person. So she is third person, I is first person. So normally when you write, the sequence is third person, second person, and then first person. This is the traditional arrangement, or you can also put it as second person, then third person, and then first person, right? So both of these are considered correct. Putting first person at the beginning is wrong. It's bad English, bad manners. There is an exception to it, yes, but then normally it is 3-1. The exception is when your sentence talks about something that is unpleasant. You're accepting the blame for something, or there is some harm that is going to befall you. So in those situations, we put the first person at the beginning, but otherwise it should be 3-1 or 2-3-1. Fair enough? So that is why our answer here should be A. Here comes the next one on your screen. Go ahead and dive into it. This is another one of those actual questions. So let us see how you deal with this. This is a good question. Okay, it's a combination of vocabulary and those other areas. Okay, a bit of grammar, a bit of logic, all of that. So let's get into it. Whoa, right. So the answers are trickling in. So people have opted for B, people have opted for D. What else? Oh, the D has vanished. That makes my job actually easy. Okay, so if I look at the second blank, you realize that we cannot really put member or house in the second blank. So C and D are anyway ruled out. And then if I focus on the first blank, star coaches have the apprehension or ability. Both of them can grammatically go, but then look at what is stated further. Star coaches have the apprehension to get something extra out of their work. If you are able to get something extra out of your work, why will you have an apprehension? Apprehension is a concern. Apprehension is a doubt. It leads to worry. So apprehension will not fit in here, and that is why you are absolutely right. The answer should be B. Mithun, you want a class on reading comprehension? Yeah, we've actually done a lot of sessions on RC in the run up to the CAT, and that is why I'd say normally we tend to, I think, give a little less effort to something like it, you know. So I know you want more work on RC from us. We can definitely go ahead and look at that. We can try to work on this. Let's see. करते हैं कोशिश करते हैं. तुझे आरसी चाहिए? आई थिंक ऐप वाले जो सेशंस होते हैं ना यार, वो थोड़े ज़्यादा आसान है. ऐप पे ना ज़्यादा जगह मिल जाती है, तो पैसेजेस थोड़े करने ईजियर हैं. सो करते हैं शेड्यूल यार तेरे लिए. लेट अस सी. Rahul, can it be connected coaches plural and teams plural? You can, but then if I compare A and B, you realize work is anyway an uncountable noun. Work is uncountable, so it won't really work. Had it been a countable noun, then yes, then it could have applied. Then it could have helped us. Sachin, no idea, yaar, no idea. Yes, absolutely. And Rahul, you're right. When you look at the context, when you look at what the sentence tries to convey, B is of course a winner. Okay, sixth, on your screen, and your time starts now. Now, you know that our exam, particularly TISSNET, asks us a lot of questions on prepositions. So, there you go. हाँ भाई, टीम वालों, कोई सुन रहा है तो यार एक काम करें, टिसनेट के प्रीवियस ईयर आरसीज पे यार एक सेशन शेड्यूल कर सकते हैं यूट्यूब पे. वैसे बाद में बात कर लेंगे, बट मुझे लगा अभी हो तो अभी डिस्कस करके बता ही दो यार. So if anybody from the team is here, you can probably update these guys straight away, huh? We can pick up some of those previous year passages. They're easy, but that said, why give them a short shift, huh? So what's your answer for question number 6? Transfer pricing. So it's partly idiomatic. So see, transfer pricing is a method wherein pricing is done. So you realize you do things on some basis, right? So because we have this basis here, we can actually go in for on. Another preposition that we use with this idiom is at. You are supposed to keep him at an arm's length. Okay, in that case, you'd probably use at, but then at is not even a choice. It is on. So in the first blank, we need on. That basically means that option B and C are ruled out. Now let's look at the second blank. Transfer pricing is a method wherein pricing is done on some basis, till transactions taking place between two related entities, or for transactions taking place between two related entities. So you realize till and until are basically prepositions that denote time. We are not talking about a time here. We are actually, and therefore we can eliminate till and opt for D. In fact, if you forget this, if you just look at this, transfer pricing is a method wherein pricing is done till transactions at, on, for. That'll actually make it pretty obvious for you. Besides, when it comes to dependent or fixed prepositions, we don't have very many rules, to be honest. So that's a bit of fill in the blanks. We get a lot of these questions in the exams. Let us dive into a bit of grammar now. So here is the first. Okay, once again, I think Shivanya. I'll call you Shivanya for the time being. Although, okay, Shivnaya. Why am I getting confused? Can you give me the phonetic spelling? Yes, prepositions can be confusing because there is no rule, no formulae. It is all about familiarity, right? When you use English a lot, I mean, if you look at it, it is not an area that we can master from a textbook. So some verbs, some nouns, some adjectives are supposed to be followed by a particular preposition or a particular set of prepositions. And you realize there are a few thousand nouns, a few thousand adjectives, a few thousand verbs. Now, to memorize all of these things can be a challenge. But if you make English your primary language, I am sure it'll be easy. Okay, so Shivanya, thank you. That's easy for me. Okay, So you have an underlined part in this sentence, and you are supposed to look for the best replacement for that underlined part, and your time starts now. So what is the answer that you guys are choosing here? टाइम कम रह गया क्या थोड़ा इस क्वेश्चन में? चैलेंज रहा क्या? Ah, oh. So far the question is progressing along the lines that I imagined while putting it in here. Okay, so ये देखिए, a little wind kindles the fire, which may result in a catastrophe. While more, now you notice we did not repeat the noun, but actually the implicit noun here is wind. Now, wind is uncountable, right? It is an uncountable noun, and therefore many cannot be used. So let's remove it. Can we use more with uncountable nouns? Yes. So if I tell you that I need more information, that's correct. But the implicit part is I need more information than what I have received so far. The information that I've received so far, I need more. So there is always an idea of comparison, and it says that I want more than what I have had so far. Okay. So if I put in more here, so I'm saying while more wind puts away the fire. What do I even need to get into it? Puts away is anyway incorrect. Put out as a phrasal verb means extinguish, bujhana. So put away is just to keep something elsewhere. So B is anyway ruled out. In more you have puts out. So can I say while more wind will put out the fire? So more wind here will be more than this. So far you had a little wind. But then if you say more wind, then you are saying that I want more than what I had earlier, more than a little. So do you think just a bit more than a little wind is the idea that we need here? Is that the idea that we need here? So एक तरफ हम बोल रहे हैं कम हो तो आग लग जाती है, ज्यादा हो तो बुझ जाती है. So we don't want more than a little wind, we want a lot more than a little wind. And in that case, much wind will give you that idea of a lot of, in great quantity. I shouldn't say a lot of, but in great quantity. And that is why in this particular question we should actually go in for D. We need that contrast. Less wind does this, a lot of wind does that. So very little wind does X, but a lot of wind does the opposite of X. So because you want that opposition, because you want that contrast is given to you better by much, more will not give you a contrast. So imagine if I have if you gave me some milk and I say give me more. So let us say you gave me half a cup. If I ask for more, now you can actually give me 3/4 of a cup. And even that may not be enough. Even that may not be adequate. Right? So here we had to look at the kind of idea that this sentence is trying to or aiming to convey, and that should have guided us. We wanted that contrast. That contrast is given to us only by much. That contrast is not offered by more. Okay, here is the next one. Naman, it's mostly grammar and partly at times, of course, comprehension and logic. There is a question on your screen and your time starts now. So for instance, when I look at this particular question, it is mostly grammar. I mean, you won't really have to use a lot of logic here. Shubham, catastrophe is a disaster. A really big harmful event is a catastrophe. वो होते हैं ना ब्रेकअप्स, लगते हैं कि ब्रेकअप हो गया तो कैटास्ट्रफी है, बाद में पता चलता है कि ओ मैन, आई डॉज्ड अ बुलेट. I says, why am I not teaching for CDS? Ayush, yaar, we are puppeteers. So I do teach everybody at this on this platform. Nowadays, off late, I think, yes, you're right. I've been teaching these other categories a little more. Let's see. So what's our take? Okay. So whenever you use a group of, you realize after a group of, we use a plural noun. Now the problem is passerby is singular and therefore we cannot use passerby in the sentence. So A and D are ruled out. Now the plural of passerby is passers-by. So B and C can go, but then the problem with B is that now you're using with. That is the wrong preposition to use. So B can be eliminated, and that is why the answer here should be C. A lot of us who felt A is the right answer. I want you to look at the plurals of compound nouns. Plural of compound nouns. For example, this is a question that has been asked multiple times in exams here and there. What is the plural of mother-in-law? So we need an S somewhere. Where does that S go? That S is added at location 1 after mother, or is it added at location 2 after law? So 1 or 2. Mothers-in-law, mother-in-laws. 1 or 2. Come on, quick. 1 or 2. So we at times struggle with the plurals of compound nouns, and that can be a bit of a challenge. Without apostrophe, yes, there won't be any apostrophe involved. So the correct answer here is 1. The plural of mother-in-law is mothers-in-law. We don't add that S to law. Okay. So 1, thank God we talked about it. Otherwise, some of us could have gotten it wrong. So why don't you go ahead once the session gets over, look at the plurals of compound nouns. Or you can, if you are a student at BYJU'S Exam Prep, you can revisit my class on nouns, my session on nouns, and that will take care of it. Okay, here comes the next question. Question number 9 on your screen. A sentence divided into 4 parts. Your job is to figure out the part with a grammatical error. And your time starts now. Let's pick up the pace, guys. Let's focus and go fast. And Shubham is back with his fancy emojis that I have no idea what they mean. I can only hope that they are not obscene. आजकल तो यार पता भी नहीं चलता, मतलब लोग इमोजीज यूज करके और बड़ी obscene, बड़ी अश्लील बातें भेज देते हैं. People at times send indecent stuff, and then I am not very fluent in emojis, so I wouldn't even know. Okay, so the assurances unfortunately remain. No, Naman, look at the subject. The subject is assurances, plural. Therefore, remain is right. But look at the next clause. Neither the center nor the state have. That's wrong. This should have been has. So you remember when you join two nouns with neither nor, then when it comes to subject-verb agreement, we know that a verb is supposed to agree with the noun that is closer to it. So in this case, the noun that is close is state, which is singular. And that is why the verb here should have been singular instead of being plural. And thus our answer here is option C. Question number 10. So simple subject-verb agreement question, okay? Here is the question for you, and your time starts now. 5 seconds. Let's go. The information was surprisingly shocking. Can we use that? Surprisingly shocking? Yes, we can. Nothing wrong there. Think of it as kind of oxymoronic. And on a level that father altered Rama's perception about Devi. Whoa, we have this problem here. Okay, farther is the comparison, is the comparative degree of far. You know, far denotes physical distance. So farther is something that is physically away, physically far away still is farther. So what we needed here was not farther, what we needed here was further. Further basically means additional. So a question based on confusable, instead of farther, we needed further. So any of us who, if you know the difference between further and farther, this is a question that you could have managed to answer rather easily. So, you know, in our exams, we do get asked questions on confusables. Two words that are somehow similar, and the exam checks our ability to use those similar words correctly. So that is the bit that we needed to focus on in question number 10. So far, if you're learning stuff, then you should have no confusion about this one fact, and that is liking the video. So go ahead, hit the like button, and then let's move over to the next question. That is, sir, that is correct. Where is that? The information is and on level that for absolutely. Absolutely. That is absolutely correct. He is playing at a level that cements his place among the legends, among the greats. We do use that in this way, no? Can we use articles before uncountable nouns? Ayush, we definitely cannot use a or an. But when it comes to the, yes, we can use the at times. So it is not that we cannot use any article before uncountable nouns. So if you want to refer to a particular type of info or particular type of information or a particular piece of information, you definitely use the. So I'd say that our intelligence agency supplied us with information about the terrorist. The information turned out to be correct, and we apprehended the criminal. So you realize, so we can definitely use it this way. Absolutely, Mithun. Homophones as well. Yes, asked quite frequently. Here is your question number 11. Diving into the world of vocabulary, give me the synonym for the underlined word. Your time starts now. Yes, Payal, further. But Payal, please make sure that you are live as in that you are right now at the farthest point possible in this video. I shouldn't even say farthest here, I should say latest. पता चले बाद में पेपर में फिर से गलती करवा दी मैंने ये लाइन बोल के कहीं. Okay. So guys, hello, see, synonym, tacit is unsaid. Tacit is where you don't say, but then you automatically know. So for example, my brother and I have this tacit understanding that whenever we have some yucky vegetable cooked at home, we will order. We'll order food from outside. So tacit understanding is where we don't talk about it. We automatically know. So your good friend, the people that you're good friends with, you have that tacit understanding with them. You don't have to talk to them, yet you know. So tacit is without even talking, and that is why the synonym here should be the word implied. So implied once again is unstated, right? Unstated. So unsaid, unstated. Clean is not a synonym. Loud is not a synonym. Full is not a synonym. So tacit has this root word tac, which basically means quiet. You know a couple of more words from this based on this root. You remember this word called taciturn. or reticent. These are people who do not talk much. People who do not talk much, or people who do not prefer talking, or people who are not talking for some reason. That's taciturn or reticent. Payal, what do you want me to see? Akshay, can you clarify it further? Mutual means tacit? No. Mutual is both ways. So tacit is unsaid or unstated. We don't have to say it out loud. The other person automatically figures it out. So that's tacit. Okay. Question number 12. Another question based on synonym, but this time around no context of a sentence for you. And the word is endorse, and your time starts now. Sonal, we can use introverted for as a synonym for, I think introverted is closer to taciturn, although there is one very significant difference there. But yes, you can use it for taciturn, you cannot use it for reticent. Yes. Endorse basically means support. So you know all these celebrity endorsements, right? In fact, I remember years ago, some pan masala guy actually roped in Pierce Brosnan for their advertisement, and Pierce Brosnan later had to, he said that I did not even know what it is, but then he ended up endorsing a pan masala, which is not something that a lot of people are comfortable with, right? So that's celebrity endorsement. Okay, here is the next one, and please read the directions very carefully. This time around, I am not asking for a synonym, I am asking for an antonym, and the word is indigenous, and your time starts now. Oh, Naman found that easy. Nice. Let's see. I'm keeping an eye out on your answer for 13th. Let us see. Okay. So Rahul has sent the first answer. A lot of B's coming in. And you guys are right. The correct answer is indeed B. Indigenous basically means native or local, something that is grown at a particular place, or something that those or for example, when we say indigenous tribe, then we are talking about the original inhabitants of that particular place. So remember, when you talk about Gond, Bhil, Santhal, Khasi, Garo, Andamanis, these are all indigenous tribes of their respective geographical areas, and that is why the correct antonym will of course be foreign. Genuine, we know. Indigent basically means poor, somebody who does not have much money is somebody who is uh, indigent. And indignant is angry. It's a special type of anger. It's an anger that usually arises out of the fact that you were wronged. Something wrong was done to you, and therefore you are angry. So it's indignant, right? When you feel something bad has been done to you. So the anger that arises out of that is indignation, right? Mithun, if you say indigenous tribes, then tribals. Of course, you're just changing it suddenly, but that's just an example. Okay, you can use indigenous for illnesses. You can use indigenous for plants. Shrikant, humiliate. Which one? Shubham, absolutely. You can say angry, you can say annoyed, you can say irked. Plenty of synonyms, yes. Okay, so here is a photograph of one of those tribes, huh? So that's an indigenous tribe for you. Here is your next question on the screen, and once again, antonym of wholesome, and your time starts now. And we have 5 seconds to go. Let us see what you choose. Let us see what you mark. Kya answer? Okay. So let's look at the meaning. What is wholesome? Wholesome is something that is good for you. Something that is likely to improve your life. Either, it can be physically, mentally, emotionally, in whichever way it improves. So for example, we talk about wholesome food. We talk about movies, right? We say it is a wholesome family entertainment. So it's likely to improve your life physically, morally, or emotionally. That's wholesome for you. So incomplete, can incomplete be an antonym? So wholesome does have whole in it, but the meaning of wholesome is not complete. Meaning of wholesome is something that is good for you and improves you. Unhealthy, on the other hand, is something that is not good for you. Unhealthy is something that is harmful for you. So wholesome does have whole in it, but it does not really mean whole. Right? It means something that is good for you. That's what makes it close. So unhealthy is better. What is incomprehensible? Incomprehensible is something that is beyond comprehension, something that cannot be understood. Some more synonyms are words like unintelligible, perplexing, abstruse, indecipherable. So such words can be used for it. Right? So, but few means few, right? And you know the difference between few and a few, I hope. So hopefully that won't create a confusion for you. If you do not, let me know and I can go ahead and share it. So if I have to choose one word out of the 4 as an antonym, the best answer choice is going to be option B. Can we choose A? Had B not been here, then the next best answer choice would have been A, but frankly, it is not that great an antonym for wholesome. Okay, so Rahul and Shivanya say yes. Okay, so few is a negative expression. Few is a negative expression. So what does that mean? If I say few seats are left, so few seats are left basically means no seats are left. No seats. If I say I have few rupees, I have no rupees. If I say I have few friends, it means I do not have friends. A few, on the other hand, is a positive expression. So a few says that the number is small, but such people do exist. So if I tell you that I have a few friends, then I do have some friends. It's not that I have none. The number could be small, but such people exist. So that's how we really go ahead and use it. So I see a lot of people using few and a few interchangeably. That isn't right. If you don't want to say no, then do not use few. For instance, I look at the video and I see there are just a few likes so far. Is the video not wholesome for you? Is it not helping you become better? If yes, then I should see many more likes. And here is my next question for you on the screen. Now, this is going to be a critical reasoning question that I have taken from TISSNET 2015. Okay, this question was asked in the year 2015. So, critical reasoning questions typically have a paragraph. Then there is a question stem that asks you to do something, strengthen, weaken, infer, whatever. And then there are answer choices. Now, in this entire process, the questions become really very long and it is a struggle to fit it onto a single slide. So in this slide, I'll show you the paragraph and the question stems both in a reasonable font size so you'll be able to read it easily. On the next page, I'll give you the entire question, but the font size for the paragraph and the question stem will be really small. So please make sure that you read the paragraph carefully and then it will be available, but in a smaller font size on the next slide. So here it is. So why don't you go ahead and read it and then I will take you to the options. And just drop in a quick yes, just drop in or a thumbs up to let me know that you have read it. And then I can take you over to the next slide. That's fast. That's very fast. Wow. Huh? Shubham, I'm assuming you're telling me that you've read it. Ooh, sensational. Okay, Vinu has also read it. Just give me the moment I get it, get a yes from or a thumbs up from 4 more people, we'll move on. Let's take everybody along, yaar. Huh? Let's not put people under undue time pressure right now. Fantastic, fantastic. So 4 people have confirmed it. I need 2 more. One more and we're done. So here is the question for you. What's your answer? Which of the following, if true, casts the most serious doubt on the conclusion drawn above? Once I get 6 answers, I will start the discussion. 6 answers and we'll start the discussion. Let's go. Okay, answers, guys, answers. I know critical reasoning questions tend to take longer, so I'll give you that luxury. The luxury of time. Time is all that we can give to each other. Okay, so I have 4 answers, 2 more and we'll start. So we have Naman, Shubh, Kajal, Innocent, Anshifa. Okay. Okay. Okay, good. So let us see. Casting the most serious doubt basically means weaken. Right? And how do we weaken? We weaken an argument by questioning either a premise slash reason. You know, premise is reason provided. So in an argument, you have a conclusion, and that conclusion is backed by some reason. So you can have, reason 1, reason 2, and then there are times when some of the reasons are left unstated. So let's say the first 2 reasons were stated. So technically we call them premises, and then there is a reason that was not stated, although it was used. So unstated reasons are known as assumptions. So weakening basically means questioning the premises or the assumptions. And if you weaken, it basically means that the conclusion is no longer going to be valid. So the conclusion here is the minister's plea has convinced people to pool cars and thereby reduce congestions. How do we know that? There was an appeal by the minister. After that, the peak hour traffic reduced by 7%. So obviously it is the minister's plea that has worked. Now A says, even before that plea, people in Bombay had the practice of sharing taxis to bring down commuting costs. Fantastic. But then tell me something. If people were already sharing taxis to bring down commuting costs, why is there a reduction of 7% now? If it was a practice already in place, you should not witness fresh reduction. And if there is a reduction that has happened after the minister's appeal, then I can still say that the minister's appeal has worked. Yes, this was a practice which is already being used, but now more people have started using it. I can say that, right? So A does not weaken. A merely says that it is not a new idea. It does not contradict any premise, any assumption. So A can be ruled out. I think nobody has picked up B. So let's eliminate B. Let's dive into C. Some of us have chosen this. Construction of flyovers has greatly reduced the number of lanes available to commuters in major streets leading to South Bombay during the past 6 months. So the minister's plea was the one that convinced people to pool cars or not? Does it have any bearing on your conclusion? See, this is irrelevant. This has no impact. It neither strengthens nor weakens. Let's rule it out. Let's look at D. Over the past 2 months, the State Road Transportation Corporation, should have been a small t, has introduced 500 new point-to-point buses connecting various parts of the city to South Bombay. Oh, so you notice 6 months ago there was a plea. Today there is a reduction of 7%. And now 2 months ago, we realized that 500 new buses were launched that started from different parts of the city and took you towards South Bombay. So there is a possibility, if D is true, then it is possible that the reduction in peak hour traffic is because some people have started taking these buses that are available. It has got nothing to do with the plea of the minister, but these buses. So the assumption here was that no other factor led to or explains the reduction. D challenges that assumption. D says that no. There is this other factor. Buses chalai thi bhai. These 500 buses, there are people who have started taking them. And that is why the peak hour traffic is down on the road now. So D definitely weakens it, and that is why our answer here should be D. In case you wish to get into the basics of CR, I am taking a session on BYJU'S Exam Prep app at 7 p.m. today, where I'll cover critical reasoning fundamentals. It's actually meant for people who are preparing for CAT 23 and beyond. So I can't promise a very tailor-made session where you would have a lot of different question varieties that are going to be discussed. But if you've never studied critical reasoning, or you've studied it but you've forgotten it and you want to revise the fundamentals, you can check this. And we'll continue to bring in more such sessions for you where we practice questions of TISSNET. But then we started this quite a while ago. So a couple of weeks ago, I took 2 mini mocks of English as well. In case you've not attempted those mini mocks and they're here at this YouTube channel, then you can go ahead and check those as well. TISSNET English mini mock 1 and 2. That'll give you some extra practice before your exam. And then over the next few days, we'll of course keep on bringing you more and more practice questions across all of these different areas. And make sure that you remain regular. And make sure that you show up even when you end up getting questions wrong, because the harder the conflict, the greater the triumph. The more challenged you feel, the sweeter the victory is going to be for you. And if you know people who are targeting CAT 23, do let them know about BYJU'S Exam Prep. Easily one of the best courses, right? So what do you get? You get live classes, but then you also have 300 recorded lectures. You also can replay any of these things anytime. You have this ready access to doubts. You have this ready access to notes and questions, plenty of stuff. And to make this a sweeter deal, we happen to have this scholarship exam, which can make it scholarship exam on 18th of February, which can make it a really sweet deal for you. Okay, so 18th can actually give you up to 90% off. Just appear for this section of this test, and then on the coming 11th, we have this fabulous session, how to manage CAT prep with your job or studies. So those of you who want to get tips or inputs on time management when it comes to your preparation, then this is the one that you need to go ahead and work on. And All India Open Maharashtra CT, right? Once TISSNET gets over, this is the next exam that you and I are going to target. So make sure that you register for it and appear for it so that you get to learn what Maharashtra CET is all about. Okay, Naman says A versus D. So A said people were already commuting. If people were already commuting, why is there a 7% reduction now after the minister's appeal? The only thing that can explain it is that now after that appeal, a greater number of people have started carpooling, which means that his plea had an effect, right? People did listen to him. So the conclusion is still valid. Whereas D says there were these buses. So that gives you one additional factor which can explain the reduction. Remember, a bus can accommodate 60 people and it occupies the space that 2 cars occupy. And 2 cars would typically have what? 2 to 10 individuals. So now because you have buses, there are these people, there is a greater number of people who are opting for those buses. So you have fewer cars on the street. That's the difference. And Shubham, it all appears confusing when you have not prepared, when you've not really practiced a lot of these questions. Practice and you'd get these right. Okay, so that is it from me today. We are at all of these platforms. Wherever you are, you'll find us there, and join us on these platforms. And if you have questions, you can raise them here or at any of those places, and we'd love to get back to you. And I look forward to hearing from you as well. So that's it from me today. Until I see you next, stay safe, stay focused, stay in touch. Okay, see you in the next. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe.